She says, how do we apply radical gratitude to a natural grieving process? I'm scared that I'll always feel this way and I'll never be restored to peace, happiness, and fulfilling work. You know, here's the great thing with coming into the present is that I think one of the ways that we're taught, the mind tricks us into either being in the past with all these regrets for what should have happened and how it should have been, or being in the future scared it's never going to change. And once you're using some of these tools, the surrender, the offering, the radical gratitude, and you're actually coming into the present, there's this joyous moment where you realize that the future is none of your business. I don't know if other people can relate to this, but I remember when it happened to me. I didn't have to carry the future on my back anymore. I didn't have to try to strategize to create the perfect future. I didn't have to fear that what was ever happening in a given moment never was going to end. Because the one thing I've learned through living this way is that in the world of opening to the divine, things can turn on a dime. On a dime. You can be in one situation and 48 hours later, Kali or Jesus or the great love, whatever you want to call it, the whole situation's turned over and becomes something else, because it's only from that micromanaging of the ego that you're thinking, oh, it's always like this, or it's everything goes out the window. And you just become open to moving with the flow of the Holy Spirit, of the Shakti, as she unfolds. So that's what I would do with that, is be where you are right now with the grief. Don't try to hurry it. Don't try to force it. Don't try to push it. Thank you, grief. Thank you for crying. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And when the mind starts to say, what if it's always going to be this? What if it's always going to be that? Just coming back to the present. All emotions are now offered back to the divine. Everything that needs to unfold next for the highest will. And there's a wonderful quote actually from Stanzi, who's in this group. It's actually by a woman I'd never heard of named Frances Ward Weller. So check this out. This really captures to me what radical gratitude is about, the way we're working with it here. She says, you can carry grief in one hand and gratitude in the other and be stretched large by them. How much sorrow can I hold? That's how much gratitude I can give. If I only carry grief, I'll bend towards cynicism and despair. And if I only carry gratitude, I'll become saccharine and I won't develop much compassion for other people's suffering. Grief keeps the heart fluid and soft, which makes compassion possible. You know, and I just love that. And especially if you are around any people that are into a certain kind of manifesting focus that just says you can't feel grief. Grief is low vibe. You can't feel sadness. That's low vibe. It's like, that's insanity. These are part of being empathic human being. But I also love the part of this where she says, you know, if you're only focused on gratitude, especially that new age gratitude that's just like, oh, be happy for the sunshine, not about be happy for the rain, then you can really go into this completely disembodied state that is so disconnected from the world and so lacking in empathy that just says, it's all good. It's all a mirage. It's all an illusion. It's not happening. And there's a complete emotional disconnect. So that's why I love doing this work that we're doing, is there's no bypassing. You're in it.
Sometimes it's agonizing, other times it's ecstatic, because we contain multitudes. They can all be happening at the same time.